Shania.
Hi, Tala.
So in our last meeting, we talked about your fall that you had, your accident, and how you fell 50 feet from a grain mill, and how you went to the hospital, and it was really hard for you. We left off a little bit before you stayed the night. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I get to the hospital and I already had my surgery on my leg, and I finally get to see my family, and we're hanging out and stuff, and they come in and they tell me that I have to stay the night in the hospital because of my surgery, and just to see I don't know, just to make sure that I'm doing okay brain wise, to see I don't know, because they didn't really, I don't know, they had scans and stuff, but they just wanted to make sure just because my fall was so traumatic. And so I stayed the night, but nobody could stay with me because my mom couldn't, because she has to bring a lot of things, and I don't know, she has to stay there with my nephew, and he couldn't stay the night as well. And then my dad had work the next day, and so I just ended up staying by myself, and it was so terrible. I literally was sitting there the entire night, just staring at the ceiling, and it was scary, and it was dark, and you're attached to so many machines and wires, and I was uncomfortable because I couldn't move either, and so it was just really hard. It was a really rough night, but finally the morning came, and I woke up at 6 a.m. because I was as soon as the sun started coming up, I just was awake, and I ordered breakfast right away, and the crazy thing was, literally the next morning, I got in, and I had an x-ray, but it was a crazy thing. Okay, so they took me down to go get an x-ray, and on my bed, I'm still attached to my bed, I haven't got out of my bed yet, and so they take me down to go get an x-ray, and they leave me in this hallway, in my bed, by myself. I'm in a gown, and it's awkward, and I'm in this hallway by myself. And so next thing you know, another guy in a bed as well comes, and they leave him in the hallway as well. But get this guy is butt naked. I'm not kidding right now, he is naked, and he's an old guy, and he's really scrawny, and he's scared, and he's making really loud noises, and I promise this all happened. We're both just in this weird hallway waiting to go get x-rays, and they leave us by ourselves, and so the guy, the nurse guy that took him down, he throws a blanket on him, but then the guy kicks it off, and it's awkward, and we're facing each other, his bed is facing my bed, and I was oh my gosh, and so we're sitting there for 10 minutes, it was just forever. It was the longest 10 minutes of my life. And then there's doors right beside me, and they open these doors, and there is a person also naked, just sitting in this room, and I'm what is going on? And they just keep opening these weird doors, and it was so awkward. So they finally close these doors, but then they somebody else comes down the hallway, and they have what is that called? When you're yellow, the skin, babies get it, jaundice. He had jaundice all over his body, and he looked very ill, and it was very creepy, and so that was just really tough. And I don't know, the first 24 hours that I was in the hospital, it was not fun at all.
Wow. So you were home, or you were there alone.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was the most challenging part of being there alone? Was it with not having family there, or can you tell me a little bit about that?
I think it was just not having family and not having the support, because I had just went through a traumatic accident, and I just feel I hadn't had time to process it yet, and I don't know, I was feeling very scared and overwhelmed, I guess, and I also was in a lot of pain, so so that was really rough. It was hard.
So when you were feeling a little bit alone, did the doctors comfort you in any way? Was there any way of making you feel comfortable in that situation?
No, not really, and I wasn't very open with the doctors or the nurses, just because I didn't really know them very well, and they weren't very the kind of people that I felt I could be open with, and so I just kind of had to get over it. But the next day, when my family came, I got to talk to them about it, and it was so nice. My favorite thing about staying in the hospital, I stayed there for 3 days. My favorite thing about staying there was just the amount of people that would come and see me. That really just made me feel so at home, and people were bringing me flowers and notes and balloons and just so many different things, and it just made me feel felt very loved and cared for. So that helped a lot.
Yeah. So you said people brought you flowers and things. Were those just for your friends or family members or both?
Yeah, it was a lot of friends, like a lot of friends, and like
Wow.
people, like big groups of people would come, like from my school. It was really cool, and like I'm sorry, and also family members. My brother like brought me a big bear, and like he brought me slippers, and also I guess like yeah, my parents like bought me flowers every day. It was really nice.
So earlier you stated that you didn't really have time to process. So when your family came, did you have time to process after that, or was it after you left the hospital?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a lot because like everybody that came, I had to tell my story. You know, like I of course had to tell them, and so I literally told my story probably like a million times in the hospital, just like tons of times. So like that helped me process through a lot of what happened.